we look at this like a Gold Corp. If you got in the very early days of Gold Corp, you made a lot of money over a lot of time. People say that this is like getting into Gold Corp at 40 cents. Gold Corp became a $20 billion company, the biggest gold company in Canada at the time. So this is the opportunity that it offers your viewers to get in on the ground floor and come and follow the journey. And it's going to be a good one for sure.
Today, we are fortunate to be joined by Shane Williams. He's the CEO of West Red Lake Gold in Red Lake, Ontario. Shane, welcome to Ron's Basement.
Thank you very much, Ron. It's great to be on. Thank you.
Well, it's our honor to have you here on behalf of all of our viewers. Thank you for joining us. You're with a brand new gold company, has an exciting value proposition, but also growth proposition as well. Will you give us a little nutshell description of what's going on right now with West Red Lake Gold?
Yeah, I will. Happy to do that, Ron. So we obviously were backed by a group, the Fiore Group, which is Frank Giustra, and your viewers will know Frank and the track record of Frank. So Frank is very good at timing. He times the gold market very well. And so the last time he timed the market, he created a company called Wheaton River, and it became Gold Corp. So a lot of upside. So we see the same sort of setup in the gold market at the moment and potential there. So we set about looking for projects to do and set up these projects. And when you're looking for projects, gold projects, you got to go to Red Lake. It is probably the most prolific area in Canada. It's known for its high-grade gold, deep gold mines, which will add a lot of value. So we picked up two properties there. One was the Rowan property, which is, we call it our exploration satellite property. And then we managed to do a deal and secure the Madsen asset, which was the old Pure Gold asset. Some of your viewers would know Pure Gold. That went into CCA process here in Canada, which is equivalent of a bankruptcy process. And we went in with some technical due diligence. We understood the problems that were there. We understood how we could fix it. And from there, we ended up securing the asset. We have two very good assets in a fantastic area of Canada. That's our story as West Red Lake set up.
Okay. And, Frank Giustra is respected as a Canadian mining tycoon. I heard him say that was the most attractive acquisition that he had done in his entire career.
Yeah, we, like Frank and ourselves, did the deal. We actually went with a low ball offer, actually, to be honest. We didn't think we'd get it, but we managed to secure it for like $6.5 million. Some shares and a 1% NSR. And when you think of the project that's there, and we'll get into some of that detail, it suits value investors, both gold investors and value investors, because it was literally pennies on the dollars. And Warren Buffett says it's when you buy, a blood is on the street. So we ended up doing the same model. We secured this project, and then it's a great value proposition as well as a upside to gold.
And I know that in the last cycle, that Madsen project alone had a market cap of almost $1 billion. What I find very interesting also is that there was kind of a confluence of factors that had affected it with the previous owner, some financing issues, some, I guess you could say, management or operational issues. And then also at the same time, the COVID crisis came together. So kind of three things that hurt that situation. But I think what's most interesting to me, and I am an investor in West Red Lake Gold, is the fact that none of the problems that the previous operator had are problems that are not fixable. Is that a safe assessment?
Yeah, I think we saw that very clearly when we went in and did our due diligence. There's a difference because of the Pure Gold issues and the challenges there. I think it's all getting mixed up they're all getting tainted. And we saw very clearly that there's difference between the ore body and the management and the issues and how they ran the project. So that gave us a lot of hope, because the ore body itself is very solid. We've done a lot of DD on the ore body, and then we were able to assess the management issues, and they were all very fixable. You put the right team in place, the right backers, you bring up the right resources to it, and they're very, very fixable. And that's why we saw it as an opportunity. You know, the other opportunity is there, Ron, that, you know, it was the most hated asset in Canada because of the CCA process, and we see that as an opportunity. Hence, we wouldn't have got it such a great deal without that. You know, there's been a lot of history where people have gone into CCA, new groups come in, take the project and bring it to a huge success. So this potential upside is up to $1 billion of valuation. So that's a lot of upside. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just an incredible opportunity. You know, you've got a high grade resource in a storied mining camp area, and all of the infrastructure is there, right? I mean, if I heard this correctly, the previous owner had invested almost $350 million into the mine, the mill, and it's all pretty much in great shape and good shape right now.
I think that's important for your viewers. You know, today in building a mine, it can take 10 to 15 years between getting a property, drilling it, doing the studies, permitting, construction, risk. Now with inflation, there's a lot of projects around Canada now with big inflation risks and cost delays and overruns. And so we saw the opportunity. It's all in place at the Matson property. There's, $350 million was spent on it. There's a brand new mill, tailings facilities are in place. They have a permit, they have discharge, they have water treatment. They really have everything ready to go from a mining perspective. Again, that will shorten the time for reset versus a typical project.
Interesting. I'm just curious how you found this. I'm envisioning that that there was a rainbow, and at the end of the rainbow, you found the Madsen mine, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Well, I am Irish, Ron, so pot of gold suits very well to us.
Yeah. No, very, very interesting. And is it true in this Red Lake area that the deeper you go, generally the grade and the gold deposits are richer? Is that a fair assessment?
That is very true. The richer you go, and as an example, some of your viewers might know the Red Lake mine in Ontario, very, very prolific. They're owned by Goldcorp. It was a small 50,000, 60,000 ounce producer. They drilled it very, very deep, and they ended up finding an ore body that was an average grade of 70 grams. So the deeper you go, the more drilling, you find these big deposits underground with very high grade ore. And it transformed Goldcorp. It transformed Goldcorp to a 700,000 ounce a year producer on that mine, on that simple bit of drilling in that area.
What about growth, like long-term growth potential? I heard Frank Giustra talking about his vision for this company, and that, yes, of course, you've got this first-class piece of infrastructure there. You have the mine that has what 2 million ounces kind of defined at this point. Yep. What about growth opportunities?
So near term, you know, we just picked up the Matson property. We also have a Rowan property on the other side of the lake. It has about 800,000 ounces of again 9 grams average, so it's very high grade. That gives us the opportunity to do a hub and spoke type model that's not so popular in Canada, but in other places of the world, where we have a number of sources feeding to the centralized mill. And that gives us a base. Frank has done this, I think 4 or 5 times now, Goldcorp, Leagold, Arias Mining, where you buy these assets, you turn them around, and then with the leverage to gold price, you do M&A and you grow the company over time. Our intention is to become a mid-tier gold mining company in Canada. That's the long-term vision, to build this company.
Right. What about the people? The people are important. And let me focus on you for a second. I'll allow you to brag about yourself, Shane Williams. What accomplishments have you had in the past that you think will allow you to apply past lessons, past successes into this new growth opportunity at West Red Lake?
Yeah, look, I mean, one of the things we wanted to do, given the history of this asset, is we wanted to build a very strong technical team to get the market to show that we know what we're doing. We have the experience in the board and management level. So my background, and I was involved in the due diligence process. My background is prior to this, I worked with a company called Skeena Resources. Some of your viewers will probably know Skeena. In the early days, we were, again, a small company. We ended up doing a deal with Barrick Gold for an Eskay Creek project in northern BC. And we went all the way from a $20 million company to $1 billion in valuation. So I was the COO for that company. I really ran the company, set it up. Prior to that, I was with a company called Eldorado Gold. Some of your viewers will know, a mid-tier producer. I have worked all over the world. I built mines for them in Turkey, in Greece, and recently then at Eldorado, I came across and did a project called the Lamaque Project. Some of your viewers will know the Lamaque Project. It was owned by Integra at the time, and we put together a team. We bought that, and we put it into production in 18 months. So my experience, I've done this 4 or 5 times, taking assets, putting them into production. So very, very experienced at doing this, and definitely know what we're doing and how to do it.
So you have experience. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but from taking a mining operation from the exploration phase into development in 18 months, is that
in
is
18
that correct?
months, yeah. In 18
Wow.
months, we built the Lamaque project. And today the Lamaque project is the best performing asset in Eldorado Gold. They are there. And I built the team, worked with the team, we built the mine. Very similar to Madsen. It was an old historic mine. We got it into production in an 18-month period. You know, the other thing for your viewers is the mining industry, as they probably know, is getting older and older, you know, and so in order to build a company, it's a 5 to 7 year runway, and you need young people. And there's not a lot of people in the world, in my experience, who's built and operated mines. And so that's why we put this company together to do that over period. So your viewers can have confidence in our ability to get the job done.
Outstanding, outstanding. What are the immediate next steps? I imagine you're in kind of assessing the situation. As you look out over, let's say, the next 6 months, what are your plans, your action plans to move this forward?
Yeah, we have a lot of catalysts coming up. You know, we have our Rowan property. We're currently drilling that property at the moment, and we're getting some very good results. You might have seen there, Richard, Ron, we're getting very, very good results from that property, and that's our satellite property. With Madsen, our plan is to go back in underground. We started development that site and do some more and do lots of drilling. One of the challenges of the previous operator was they didn't drill enough detail into this project. And we identified that early as a challenge and one of their issues. So we're going to go back in and spend the next 12 months drilling this ore body out. So we're very certain when we start, we're ready to go again. Probably in 12 to 14 months, we'll have a restart of this operation.
Okay. And we talked earlier about how the gold deposits become richer the deeper you go, typically speaking, in Red Lake. Are there plans to drill maybe a little deeper at the Madsen project?
Yes. I don't know how much. There's an ore body called the 8 zone on this Madsen property. It's very, very deep. It's down to 1,300 meters, but it's very, very rich. It's an average grade of 20 grams. And so this is down deep. As we develop down, we are going to develop deeper and deeper and drill deeper. And there is a shaft on this property. So that allows us to get down very deep and drill around the bottom of that shaft to really understand the potential of the ore body. We do believe there is a high-grade ore body down there to allow us to ramp up.
Okay. And I'm just curious, because I'm not a mining expert per se, but I would imagine that it's easier to do drilling in an environment like Madsen when there's not production going on. It kind of frees you up to go where you need to go and kind of drill where you think is, you know, the most effective places to explore.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenge with, as you're in production, trying to drill and grow the ore body. Obviously, your production becomes the focus. Obviously. I think with this break, it allows us the time to really define the ore body, understand it, and the depth where the potential is.
Interesting. From a value proposition, you know, right now the market cap of the company probably sits around 85, 90 million US. When you compare that to the 350 million that was invested just in the Madsen project alone, when you compare that to the fact that in the previous cycle, the Madsen project was valued as over $1 billion. Do you see right now that the company offers a compelling investment opportunity?
Very much so. I think it as you say, we we're open to two sort of investors. We have the gold guys who like the opportunity there of gold, but also the value investors. There's a lot of value investors there. The gold mining industry, the mining industry, as you know, has also had a bad history of bad M&A, but paying way over the value for projects and operations. So that allows us to get in early at a very good valuation as we grow. To give your viewers an idea, there's a company called Wesdome Mining in Canada here. It produces around 100,000 ounces per year, which Madsen will do up and running, and it's worth $1 billion today in production. So that gives you the value proposition. It's a 10x basically from here, and we're just talking about a normal. If the gold price is today, if the gold price runs like we believe it'll be a much higher valuation within the next 2 years. That's our value proposition we give to the market.
Yeah, and if you listen to Frank Giustra, at some point in the not too far distant future, West Red Lake Gold will likely be producing much more than 100,000 ounces per year.
Yeah, the long-term strategy, like I said, is like Frank's MO is buy these assets and then through M&A and consolidation grow. And Red Lake is a beautiful place to do that. There are lots of assets there that are really undervalued, underutilized. And in Canada, there's a lot of consolidation, as your viewers would know, within the industry now. And some of those assets that they have become tier 3, they don't become focused. And that gives us the opportunity to leverage from Madsen into something else and grow into big production. And that's really big upside from where we are today.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the proposition just the way it is, just at 100,000 ounces, and the value that's represented, it's compelling. If you think about potential increased production in the future, obviously that adds cash flow. But on top of that, if you have increased production and a higher gold price, then you're producing more ounces I mean, the leverage is really incredible.
The leverage is huge. And remember, also something on our board as well is Tony McCooch, who maybe some of your viewers will know, who is Kirkland Lake Gold, and that he started very small with some small operations, some high grade operations, but over time and consolidation and drilling and exploration, it went to a $10 billion company. So that's the sort of leverage as you grow these can go to. So that's, you have a 10x even if just on Madsen, and potentially much more if the gold price and we do M&A like our plan is.
Yeah. Now the previous operator of the Madsen mine ran into some financial type issues. What about West Red Lake Gold? Are you saddled by a lot of debt, or what's your current financial statements look like?
Well, in one thing we were really lucky that Sprott, who were the main lender at the time to Pure Gold, they were very interested in working with us because of the name and the history of the team. So we converted their debt to equity. So now they're a 24% holder in West Red Lake. And so we have no debt at the moment. We're debt free. We have $15 million in the bank at the moment, Canadian dollars. And we have good financial backers. We recently raised $25 million in June. We were oversubscribed for that, with lots of interest. So we have very good financial backing. We have money in the bank, and we have a fully available project. So we see a lot of upside and the ability of people to raise money as we go forward in the market.
Yep. When I looked at your financial list, your financial roster, your backers, I saw Sprott, I saw Frank Giustra, and I only saw that in terms of retail float, and please again correct me if I'm wrong, but only 30% of the stock, I believe, is owned by retail investors.
Yeah, that's another benefit for your investors, is that we're held very tightly by a group of large investors. A lot of juniors, developers. There's a lot of retail in there, and they're in and out, and you get a lot of volatility. We've had Frank Giustra himself has taken 10% of the company. We have Sprott at 24%, and we have the Van Eyck Gold Fund, as everybody will know. They have 8%. We've a couple of other big strategic investors. So you're right. There's very small retail, which doesn't have a lot of float. So it even adds more leverage to upside because we'll control the shares very tightly as we go forward.
Interesting. And I watched a couple interviews with employees of the company. I sense a high level of enthusiasm. Will you comment for me? I mean, what's the feel around the Madsen project? It felt like to me that there was a real strong attitude, a real growth oriented attitude. Is that a safe assessment?
Yeah, that's a safe assessment, Ron. You know, the team there went through a lot of bad history with the previous operator. Then it went through probably 18 months of the CCA process as they were winding down care and maintenance. I think with us coming in and the team we've brought and the financial backing, there was a lot of enthusiasm and lots of locals. Everybody lives in Red Lake. They're part of the team. They're part of the community. We've met the mayor of the town. We've met the First Nations. We even had the Minister of Ontario Mines up at site. There was probably some posts that your viewers have seen. So everybody's promoting and helping us to move this forward. So a lot of enthusiasm for this mine in the region.
A lot of community support, and I also sensed a lot of employee support as well. And that, that's one of the intangible things that that you can't really see on financial statements or anything else, but it makes a big difference.
Well, and it comes down to the attitude of the team. You know, when I did the Lamaque project, again, we went in and you energize the team, you empower them, you get them part of the bigger group, and it works wonders. They then feel part of the system. They want to do a good job. They want to be well. So that's part of our modus operandi. We go in and build strong teams, build the energy, the efficiency, and then they do the work. They help grow the business.
Interesting. Shane, thank you for spending this time with me. I sense that that you're a great leader and that we have great things to look forward to at West Red Lake Gold. Is there anything that I missed? Anything you want to share with my viewers before we say goodbye?
No, I would say a little bit to your viewers in that the value proposition there is there. And, we look at this like a Gold Corp. If you got in the very early days of Gold Corp, you made a lot of money over a lot of time. People say that this is like getting into Gold Corp at 40 cents. Gold Corp became a $20 billion company, the biggest gold company in Canada at the time. So this is the opportunity that it offers your viewers to get in on the ground floor and come and follow the journey. And it's going to be a good one for sure.
Yeah, it's a unique opportunity. I'm an old accountant, so I love to look at, I'm a value oriented investor. It's a unique opportunity that you're presenting to the market where it really is an incredible value by any metric. But at the same time, it's also an incredible growth opportunity. And if you factor in potential for, a higher precious metals price, the sky's really literally the limit. So
I also think there, Ron, a little bit that, the industry at the moment, as you probably know, there's a lot of baby boomers who are there and they're retiring and there's not a lot of new people. And we've put in a young, hungry team who want to succeed. And that's very important. You need to back a good team. As you know, most of the big gold mining companies, you need to back a young, hungry team to build this out. And we offer that as well. So we offer the energy, the focus to grow,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting journey, Ron, for your viewers.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be watching both as an observer and as an investor. I own shares in the company, and I'll be rooting for you. And hopefully, we'll get to talk some more in the future, Shane.
Yeah, good. And I'd love to come on and give your viewers an update as we're going through the journey and support us and come with us. And I like to give people updates and feel part of the journey. It's a real good story. So
that sounds great. I'll put links to the company website and information in the description of this video. And Shane, again, thank you for your time. And we will look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ron. Thank you.